So this is a drive-through video on this tiny house community area here. It's just south of Clemson University, across the Seneca River, which is part of the Savannah River, up at the north end of Lake Hartwell Street. There's a two-story one right there. Look at that. Cool. There's another one. And I think these are rented by students. I don't think it's a purchase thing. I thought this was a really cool place when we first moved here. This is like the first tiny house village. If you look on our channel, we've got another video of another tiny house village that's just a normal tiny house village that they've kind of made into an apartment complex in a way. It's kind of set up the same way, but these are better. These, I think, are built on site. Here, this kind of, I think this is also student housing over here. I'm keeping it kind of a wide angle, guys, so it's not too shaky. If I zoom in, it gets real shaky. And I'll show you the community center they put together for this neighborhood as well. I think that's it over there, this brown roof way over there. But you know what? I'll go down there first. This almost looks like this is the leasing office. So yeah, these are all these. Look at that. That no personality row of boxes, you know. It's like, I know they're trying to save money by building them as cheap and as they can, so they just use the same floor plan over and over again, so everything's interchangeable. But none of these were up when we came through here before. It was all like the tiny houses behind us. I think that was it. And then it was just kind of open. But look at this big soccer field they got. They could use as a football field. And this is the community center right here. And I think it's, you know, for the students. They got a really big swimming pool in there. And the volleyball court here, obviously. So you can see it's got some people hanging out there by the pool. They got like a gazebo area over there. You can see that. And then they've got the volleyball court right here. This is all white sand. It's not concrete. But I guess, you know, for student housing, they're trying to just get as many people in as possible. So there's a student housing duplex right there. And again, these white ones, I think like maybe 3 or 4 people get together and rent them. Or they might just be able to rent a room in these. I know in my hometown where I'm from, a lot of people owned properties down on the campus area. It's a big university town. And what they would do is they would turn them into triplexes, even though it was just like a regular house. They would turn them into triplexes or something like that, or they would just rent out rooms and have a common area. So at least these have a little bit more personality, a little bit like there's multiple different building structural looks to them. Every other one maybe is a little different, and they got different color schemes on them. I like that a little bit better, even though, you know, you're just building housing for students. They probably got to make them somewhat durable, because, you know, that goes if you don't own it. But if your parents are on the lease, guess what? You're behaving a little bit, right? I'm going to go over this way real quick, because here we're getting into like a larger tiny house situation. The first area that we checked out when we came in were true tiny houses, and we'll go back to that on our way out. But this is pretty big. I love all the green space they got. Look at this big green area here. And you can see the back of the houses over there. Well, not really now, but I'll try to get it on the way out. So, sorry about the camera blur there on that last move. But yeah, here's the same thing. Some different personality to some of these houses. It's every other one. These are all the same here. You get a couple big square ones in the middle, but at least they built them to look like regular houses and not like some sort of weird cookie cutter situation, you know. So here I think we get to see the back, but look at this nice green belt. This is the other side of that hill that you just saw. So maybe there's a walking trail on top of that. And yeah, kind of backlit there by the sun. But here you got the back doors to these buildings. So everybody's got a back deck. And they've separated this row and that row by putting this big berm in the middle. It might be a water situation too, flooding prevention. But if you got one of these down here, you got the woods out behind you, which is kind of nice. So when you're sitting in the back, these are like right on the lake too, I just noticed. Look through there. You can see the lake. That's Lake Hartwell right through there. They call it the Seneca River up here, but it's still part of the Savannah River chain. So the Savannah River chain starts right when it comes out of Lake Kiowee, goes down the Seneca River situation, and right, so those are right on the water. That's cool. And then right down into Lake Hartwell. Lake Hartwell dumps out into Lake Russell, and then that goes south and dumps out into another lake before it gets down to Augusta, Georgia. And that whole chain of lakes, this whole area is part of the Savannah River chain that ends up in Savannah, Georgia. Look at this. I'm gonna pull over before I freak this woman out that's walking on the road up there, and she thinks I'm a stalker. But look at that little model. You see it? There it is. Look at that. There's your little model home on a trailer, so they could take it around to different college functions. Maybe if kids are coming here to go to school, and they go into the campus to scout around with their parents, see if they want to go to school here, maybe they drag that up and put that out there saying your kids could live in this building instead of in a dorm, you know. So I think I came down a road up there, so I'm going to take this road here. So it's more of a parking lot where you could park in the back. So I don't know, this must be the back of the buildings that I drove down in the first place. Oh, let me I'm gonna go over and get a better look at that little building there. But you can see some of these are the duplexes, like this guy right here, right? And then you got the single ones. There's another one that's might be a duplex. There's a double door on the back, but yep, it says now leasing 1 to 9 bedroom. Is that what it says? I'll take a look here. 1 to 9 bedroom homes. Look at that. Now leasing 1 bedroom home or a 9 bedroom home. Holy mackerel, some of these are 9 bedrooms. So yeah, that must be the shared bedroom situation I was talking about in those bigger white ones. So that is pretty cool that they put a real nice model like that together so they could bring it around to functions. But you can see what they're doing. It's at least a little bit better because everyone that leases in this area has access, I think, to that full-on pool area. Now this just goes around the back of these 9 bedroom condos, like the ones in front. No, these can't be 9 bedroom. This thing, there's no way. So I don't know where they're getting the 9 bedroom thing from. None of these buildings I've seen so far are 9 bedroom. There's no way. Unless it's just like a plantation look or something like that. But so here's all the mailboxes for them right there, and then you've got the ladies going to the swimming pool over here. But it's called the pier. I'm gonna let these ladies go through without filming them so they don't think I'm creeping on them over here. But I'll get a shot of that door back there as soon as I get around them. But you can see that nice row. They planted trees, so in a couple years those will start getting big enough that you could sit underneath them and get a little shade, right? They should do that in the other green belt that I showed you with that hill. That would be a really good idea as well, is to put some shade along that walkway. Let me zoom in on this door here so you guys can take a look, and you can look it up online if you want. So I guess it's called the pier, and there's some information there on the door. I don't know if it gives a phone number. I can't really see. Let me see if I get a office hours, and down below it doesn't say anything. So there you go. Look it up. The Pier by CLEMSON University in upstate South Carolina. just outside of Pendleton as well. It's just across the river from the Pendleton area. I'm gonna go around this side now and check this out. Making this a little bit longer of a video because I kind of wanted to just show you all the different areas and the different things that they've got going on now. Now we're coming around the other side of that football field, and there's the swimming pool again, right there. You got a lot of people swimming back there on this beautiful Sunday, although it is a little hot. You got shade to sit in. It says 95 in the car right now. I think that's a little high though. I don't think it's quite 95. But we'll go up here, and you can see these are pretty brand new. Look at the ground. See that? They haven't got the grass even to grow yet. You can see the cement looks new and all that. So I don't know if they're all rented yet. It is the middle of summer, so these are probably, a lot of these are probably empty. There's some color personality to those ones back there, even though they're the same. That's got to be the 9-bedroom building there. These are probably like 3 or 4 bedroom buildings here with a common area on the main floor. These are probably 3 or 4 bedroom buildings as well. And boy, they're putting in a lot of these white ones. So, well, I've kind of reached a dead end here, so I'm going to put it on pause while I rip back around to the area with the tiny houses. So let's do that. Of course, I have to show you that car. Look at that. Look at that Beamer. Someone likes to be loud and proud, right? That's kind of interesting. So here's the this must be the front doors of these things where the parking is, and the back door is what we just drove by out there. But let's jump over to that other area. So this is a different entrance, and it looks like they got a little gas station convenience store out there, so that's kind of cool. And then they got a little pub here, Oyster's Pub at the pier, right? They got some outdoor seating there. A whole bunch of cars coming in behind me. So, and now here's this tiny house village that we first saw from the other side over there when we first pulled in. If you like our videos, please hit like and subscribe. Thanks for watching this whole thing. If you made it this far, hopefully you got something out of it. Check out another video right there. There's a tiny house interior and stuff right there. And then check out our channel right there. We got a bunch of different tiny house videos. We got also machinery at work, travel, locations, all kinds of fun stuff. Animals. Check it out. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.